So now that I've made the connection using this vdicad.rit.edu, since I've been here before, it gives me this computer, so I'm going to go ahead and use this, and it's going to ask me to log in. Okay, so now I'm here, and I don't think you can make this window. I was trying to make it bigger the other day, but it moves it, but it really won't make it bigger. So I'm looking basically at the same kind of screen, the exact interface I would if I was in the lab, getting at 1212. So I can open Maya, and I'm actually not doing this again on my machine. This is coming out from the lab machine. And unfortunately, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so things are going to be pretty jammed up. Best time to do this is real early in the morning before everybody wakes up. Okay, I'll spread this out. And let's see now if I can open the file. So I want to open the file I want to send to the render farm. So I'm going to use the same tools we typically do, or the same path, except I'm not going to go to the R drive. I'm going to go to the W drive. So I'm doing this because the render farm requires me to go to the W drive. And if I want to ensure that I have the correct connections, the correct paths for all the files I need, like my Maya binary file, my displacement map, my color map, any kind of file like that. So I can type in my username up here, and it's very slow, and it should get me eventually to my, see, it saw GRH, and now I'm here. So now this is essentially, this is the R drive basically. When you type in, or if I had chosen the R drive, this is the folder I would have gone to, the top directory in the R drive, which is just a subset of the bigger W drive. So what I can do is I can go in here, and I know I want projects. You got to be careful on a Mac that you type the slash the right way. See how the slash is going correctly? I had to go up to the slash that's underneath the delete key next to the brackets, not the one down at the bottom. And I can type in the name of the next directory I want to go to. And then once in there, I should be able to type the name of the next directory, or in this case I know it's animation, so I double click it, and now I'm here. So I'm going to open up the file that I want to work on from the W drive. This guarantees me that the paths are all correct. And this is where obviously things get really individual. I'm sure your files have nowhere near none of the names that mine do. Sometimes it helps use the date to sort it, so you're sure you're going to the most recent file. I want to say that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it opened up pretty quickly. Now I have a render camera here. Okay, we talked about this, remember, in the previous extension and flexion of the lumbar vertebra. So that's the camera I'm using. I want to make sure that's working. Okay, I can quickly preview here. Now I'm only looking at frames 820 to 1005. So I want to make sure first off that my render settings are set to the correct things. Okay, oops, sorry. So I'm looking for here is, okay, where am I going? My path is coming from the C drive. Well, that's not going to work. all right, whatsoever. The name of the prefix that's going to be put in front of every file name is the word retrieval, and I need 4 padding, frame padding, because I'm going to go from 820 to 105. I'm sorry, to 1005. So since I'm going to thousands, I need at least 4 digits. I'm going to use the 1080 by 1920, the basic HD 1080 setting. That was what we required for the assignment. The render camera, that's the camera I made. I want to make sure that's the camera I use. Okay. So the one thing I want to look at here is, how do I get this? I don't want a JPEG. I want this as a TIFF. So I don't want this coming from the C drive. So I'm going to have to go under File, and I'm going to say Set Project. And then this is going to let me go, or make me go back through the steps I did earlier to open the file initially. So I'm waiting for it to open. And you've seen this, so I'm going to pause and then we'll get back. So I'm on the W drive and I've typed in my username and the project directory where I keep all my stuff. And then this is the project that holds all my files. So that's what I want to set it to. Okay, this is again why you have to have your structure inside your project directory needs to match the default Maya structure. So the files are found from the render farm through these subdirectories. Okay, so now you see now my render setting is telling me that I'm coming from the W drive, and it's telling me that the file will start with the name retrieval and at 0820, and it will be a TIFF file, and it will end at 1005 with the TIFF suffix as well. Remember, it has to have the file name, the number, and then the format or suffix. So let's make sure we remember where that is. That is right here. Frame animation extension. So when you hold this arrow down, you have several selections. You want to say name underscore number period extension. Okay, that format is the only one that's going to work when you go into After Effects. And that's the one that's going to keep us numerically lined up. Give the frame range. We want by one frame, meaning do every single frame, render each frame. And then the dimensions. And like I said, the padding is determined by the number of digits in your frames. And since we're going to 1005, we need at least 4 padding digits. Okay, so we're all set now.